I check. Tell a friend to tell a friend we're live in a few seconds. You find out. All right, let me get ready for the show. Get the videos and all that ready. All right, so we can mix this. Share. Windows, entire screen, tabs maybe. Look up everyone. Okay, let's do a quick switch. Look at that. Welcome to the Black Bear Broadcast. I'm your host, Rap Raven. This is the 212th show. So it says there. Good stuff. Fantastic. All right, so I'm just going to, I've got a lot of stuff here. Let me just move some things around so I can see what I'm doing. There you go. Welcome, everyone, to the Black Bear Broadcast. Tell your friend to tell a friend we're live. Very important show, as we do every week. Don't forget to follow the Black Betterment Building Instagram page. I'll put that in the link. I'm doing a very terrible job promoting it. But there you go. It's there. That's as much as promotion as I do. A copy and paste. Tell your friends to go follow it. Good stuff. All right. Cool. So we're going to start as we always start. And we're going to talk about the triple tragedies, which are, unfortunately, white supremacy, anti-black racism, and the Mahafa. All right. So what does that mean? That means those three things cause what? The double dilemma, which is we are despised and we are disorganized. Sadly, this is true. But do not worry, because we have a single solution. What is that I hear you say? Those who are new. It's Black Betterment, the lifestyle of continuously helping Black people. There you go. So that's what we promote in this entire show, this broadcast, this podcast, is the lifestyle of Black Betterment. And week to week, we do, and we talk and we try to find solutions to challenges, and we promote this particular thing. So, what we're going to do as well is we always send that. The link's actually connected live now anyway. So when the time comes, you can jump in and have a discussion if you feel free to, if you want to. But when you do, don't forget about the 4D values. What are they? I hear you say that those are discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. When you jump into the actual panel, please remember these things. Last week we had a good show, but sometimes we forgot these 4D values. It can be very hard at times, but if ever you want to do any constructive work with the community, I recommend strongly you use the 4D values: discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. All right. Try not to use derogatory language if possible. That makes life easier. You're less likely to trigger anxiety. All right. So where are we today? So today, so it's kind of we introduced this topic last week, or maybe the week before, and it was a continuation. So those who tuned in last week, we had a special guest, brother rapper called Cami Slime. Sorry, forget it. Yeah, and very, very, very talented brother. And we were discussing, I think, what were we discussing? We were discussing about the attitudes of Black men as well as Black rappers, and are Black men and Black rappers in the UK motivated to practice any form of Black Betterment, B1, pro-Blackness at all? My argument was no. So I think it was, and I say this word wrong, it was Black Betterment versus Black humanitarianism. I think I said good there. And yeah, and I think that brother was supporting kind of that kind of ideology. Good brother. We spoke for like a good 4 hours. Sometimes when we have live guests, we go very, very long. We're going to really try to watch that. But we can, we're allowed to. So yeah, that was good. But we did ask a question last week that we said this week. We're going to start this week and next week trying to get a poll going. We're asking, well, right now, a statement was made that are 99% of the UK Black men conquered? And we discussed what percentage of Black men in the UK are mentally defeated and confused on the need for community building and how to achieve it. So even though we're shouting this number 99%, we're still going to ask the community, what do you feel like? Are Black men in the UK, do you find that they are really pro community building, pro Black families, supporting and supporting the Black woman, standing up for the community, being dedicated to economics and health and stuff? Do you find that, do you find that our women are placed first in certain things? Do you sense like a community loyalty or at all? What percentage do that? So it's up to you to think of a number in your head. We've got a few sheets of what you can vote for, but we will be asking you at some point throughout the podcast, what percentage of the UK black men do you feel are conquerors, or I should say, are conquered? Sorry, right? So that means the conquerors. If 1% of black men are conquerors, meaning they're pro family, they're about the women, they're about the community, they're about building businesses and defending the integrity and all the rest of it of the black community. If there was 1%, that means that 1% are conquerors, while 99% are conquered. Oh dear. And if that is the case, then we want to highlight that, because obviously we'll have to think of a campaign to try to change that. Hence why we ask the questions. Unfortunately, like I was saying to the brother last week, when it came to rapping and creativity and this kind of stuff, there was a time where if you were a rapper, it's like you were automatically connected to community issues, and you were pro-black, and you wanted black people to progress, and you were aware of the things needed to make that a reality. But something has happened throughout the years where a disconnect has happened where, well, and that's why we're saying that actually what we're saying is, and this is the next question, what is white wealth and ideology? A new word there for those who ain't heard it. It's a mishmash of an old word, really. But we discuss what white wealth is and how black men are conditioned to practice it. So what we're pushing forward is any ideology. I should have an actual slide of it. Let's come back to that. So we'll come back to it. White wealth ideology, promoting actions that sounds inclusive for the betterment of non-white people or black people, but benefit white people more exclusively. What we're saying here is sometimes you try to, debate or do a public speaking of some point, and then you get many black men really dedicated to really like jump in and combo break anything you're saying. And it seems that they're dedicated to constantly taking attention away from black people coming together and more trying to unite with other people and give away resources. So we time that into ideology that we're calling white wealth ideology or white wealthing. You see, where this idea, it sounds like what you're saying is actually for good for all people, black people, but actually it's not. Actually, it's better for Europeans. So we're gonna unpack that. But before we big up On Code Barber Studios. Big up everyone live in the house and everyone who will be live in a few when the video goes live, streams. So you're not live, but as in future viewers who never get live because they might be working or in another country or all the rest of it. You guys are important. Now, what we tend to do, rather than me jump on the topic, I'm just gonna look through videos that just came flying through my algorithm, and I'll give you a black Batman perspective of it, and you can do the same if you wish. So let's see. What's this South African? What's this one, rather?
Black people.
Oh, yeah, this is a very important one. Let's hear this, and I'll stop the guy from jumping.
The original inhabitants of South Africa, which, in fact, they're realizing that now.
Hello, my friend. This was a common talking point for colonizers in South Africa, in which they tried to legitimize their rule and presence in the region. I'd say to justify South African apartheid by comparing it with some ancient migrations is honestly a poor strategy. The Bantu expansion that you're referring to is understood.
So those don't know why, and it happens when I'm debating, it happens when many black people debate. They would try to say things like, if you try to bring up that obviously apartheid and colonization happened in South Africa, rather than admitting that or try to give back resources or try to fix the horrible things that's happened, the anti-black racists will say things like, well, actually, there was no black people in Africa, South Africa, and what they'll try to separate the Zulu people from the Khoisan, and they say the Khoisan are more brown while the Zulu are black or Bantu, and they came from more central and they migrated. I mean, this happened 3,000 years ago to 1,000 when they settled. But I think the brother here, the gentleman here will say this is, I think, an Asian gentleman is saying,
to have occurred through a series of agricultural migrations. These Bantu migrations are believed to have begun 5,000 years ago, reaching South Africa close to 2,000 years ago. There isn't strong evidence to suggest that they wiped out or completely replaced the pre-existing populations like I believe you implied, though of course it's likely that their presence in fertile areas pushed Khoisan people out to less fertile areas. Now, in my opinion, this doesn't compare to a conquest or a form of colonialism that shares the characteristics of the actual colonial rule endured by the country. Next, as Bantu-speaking populations have lived in southern Africa for many centuries, they do have some genetic ancestry.
Big up Kushti, Empress Kushti, very important contributor to the Black Band broadcast.
From groups considered indigenous to this area as well. This is because the Bantu expansion wasn't simply a population replacement, but instead genetic studies suggest that pre-existing populations did assimilate and mix with the Bantu migrants. This whole argument you presented is sort of like telling an Indian that British colonialism is justified because part of their Indian ancestry is derived from Neolithic populations that existed outside the colonial borders of the subcontinent. It makes little sense.
Black people.
Just be aware of anti-black racists when you try to define certain things where they'll try to say, oh, actually, black people weren't there or those people are not black. It's part of the technique, the divide and conquer technique. You're well aware of it. But just be wary of it. So that came across my video. I thought that was interesting. What else we got? Let's see what else we got before we start the show. Oh, this is an interesting one. I think. So this is a lady. She says she looks race. I don't doubt her. Maybe. I think she's actually from a country of mine, Dominica. So she says. I think. I mean, was this an advert? I think it was because I don't follow her, so it must be an advert. That's like a lot of these kind of like racial showcasing adverts that probably get a lot of ticks. So that's another thing to be wary of, but let me listen to what she's saying.
What's the mix? If I had £1 for every time somebody said this to me, I think it's so obvious what I am. But then again, that I am the mix. I think my features say it all, really. People think that I am Chinese, German. I've had half Pakistani. I'm not any of those. My mum is Caucasian, so she's white. She's half Scottish, half English. My dad is actually a black man from the Caribbean. He came in Windrush from an island called Dominica. Not the Republic, but this is the Commonwealth, which is near Martinique. Same place they filmed Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right, so this is a lady. She says her dad's from Dominica, and he came in for the Windrush, so I don't know how long ago that would be. But yeah, but this is what we're saying. When black men don't pick black women, what happens is historically they use what they call it racial whitening, and then the offspring, your children, could really inherit much of the European features, if not all, and then more than likely they will then carry on marrying Europeans and become European. And you might get these kind of videos now, which is very good for clicks like, oh my days, your dad or your granddad was black and this kind of stuff. But ultimately the idea is to promote black people marrying black people so you can keep your assets, your wealth, and you don't have these kind of confusions or this kind of thing going on. But yeah, a bit up to the sister there, but like I said, because if once you watch one of these things, you get bombarded with a whole lot of these kind of techniques. Speaking of techniques, could be wrong, but I saw this individual here come up again. Let me see him. Let's have a sneak peek when I at him.
Mother told me and my siblings when we were young kids. I remember it was when my older.
So he's an Afghan. No, my screen's small, but I think it says Palestinian man. But my screen's so small, shares why he trusts black people. Let's carry on. So this brother, we played him before. He did another face very close to the screen kind of monologue about why black people are nice, this kind of stuff.
Brother started secondary school. It was a big deal. My older brother going off to the big boy school, and my mum sat us down. She said, if you're ever in trouble out there in the real world, look for a black woman. My mum said this. My mum was raised in this country from the age of 6, the UK. She said, look for a black woman. She said, anywhere in the world, a black woman will help you. She was never wrong. But it's incredible that my mother said that. And I don't know what my mum went through. But I remember seeing photos of my mum in school when she was in high school and stuff. And she had loads of black friends and stuff. And they were all black women. So she obviously felt some protection. And growing up for me, I noticed in my school, it was a very predominantly white school. The black teachers looked out for me. I had a black Jamaican teacher called Mrs. Forrester. She looked out for me. But even outside of school, when I started growing out my hair, it was a black woman that taught me how to look after my curls, what products to use. I am trying to make a point here, and it's that black women get treated the worst by the medical field, by the education field, by the police, by everything. yet they're the ones that give the most love. We don't give credit where credit is due. We really don't. And thank you to a specific thank you to the Jamaican community, because there was this Jamaican woman who helped my grandmother, and that's a different story. And just black women in general, thank you for everything you've done for me, for everything you've done for my family, and for everything you've done for our people. My people wouldn't have survived in the UK if it weren't for black people standing up for us, coming to the protests for us, protesting with the bus rallies for us. Yeah, I know my history. So thank you.
Okay, so that's the same individual. This is my second or third video. I'm not too sure. Yeah, so I mean, big up the gentleman. Now, I don't know if this kind of adverts they do is like, and mentioning black women and black men or whatever, is like a high click thing, you know, and maybe the brother is very, you know, happy with it. I would say that I do remember putting messages on the last video, like, you know, what would be a bit more beneficial is if you stopped some of the gentlemen in your communities from like attacking black women in your shops and this kind of stuff. That would be beneficial. You know, and we haven't seen too many videos about that, the Asian community and that kind of stuff. And I would say that sometimes, you know, even though, you know, a lot of the people that, you know, oh, it's good to see we'll come together, I think we want to have a different way of processing some of these information, especially on the internet with algorithms and adverts and all that stuff and click, 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 click. But once again, I could be cynical. I'm a bad person. What do I know? But that was just, you know, I thought that was very interesting. This is another video he's doing, but maybe the gentleman said that. I mean, we did mention before about in Birmingham and in London how many black people would fight for the right of non-black people and be the first in line. I think we kind of want to calm that down a bit now. Like, let people fight their battles and say, you know, we're here for you in the wings, and you know, don't forget to try to stop racism in your communities, and also stop the men from, you know, destroying and attacking our women when they try to give you money in your establishment. That might be a good thing, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Who knows? What do I know? Very little, as time seems to reveal. Anyway, what have we got? Let's see what we got before we start the show. This is interesting, and this ties into. Let me stop this for 4 seconds. We've got a lot.
You hate white people.
Because in the last meeting, the gentleman, the gentleman said last week. He said, "Oh, I did catch him. I didn't respond to him. You don't like white people or Europeans." And a lot of brothers, especially when I'm talking about why it's important to love black women, that's their conclusion, and that we can unpack that as time goes by. But that's the thing. A lot of people are focused on not liking someone, but this individual, and don't get me wrong, there might be some individuals, because they study history, they might end up not liking Europeans. I mean, it's possible. You can think, really? Yes, it's possible. And I think this gentleman is one of them. So I just heard him speaking on my stream. So let's hear him.
No,
Otherwise eating, but he is.
I don't care from anyone listening to me. It's like, see, this white, this rice is white. I got as much care for white people as I do as this grain of rice I'm about to eat.
What religion are you?
I'm Muslim, for sure. I mean, I'm saying, Allahu Akbar. But so what I'm saying is I can't, and I
So
won't.
you're Muslim.
100%.
Okay, so how do you feel about Arab Muslims from your, you know, religion? Do you feel like they're fleas too?
For sure. But we can clean. We all know we got treatments. we
So you're not brothers.
We're definitely not brothers.
Because, you know, in the Muslim religion, they say if all Muslims are brothers and sisters,
We're
no
not
matter,
brothers.
you're not.
We're not brothers.
Got it.
All right. So what the brother's probably saying there, he's probably done his history and research and realized that unfortunately, the Arab slave trade and the European slave trade and the Pan-Atlantic trade and this kind of stuff. You know, nobody likes black people, and but you know, with especially the UK and around the world, many black men, even though we're attacked, we still turn the other cheek because of Jesus Christ, this kind of stuff. But some people just say no. So I'm not going to argue with that. But I would say this: you don't hear me. I tend to not speak about Europeans unless someone brings them in, and because this week we have to discuss it because of the ideology we're talking about, we're going to show it. But no, it's not really my thing. I would tell people that if you're trying to help black people and you articulate you don't like non-black people at all, they will use that to undermine your progress. So I would say be wary, because they'll do that. And I think the saying is two things. What is it? It's if you say that, so my memory's so rubbish. Don't say it because it can be used to undermine black progress and it can be seen as not nice. Those two reasons. There you go, something like that. And maybe in the reverse order. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Let me get rid of some of these videos because all these videos are actually stacking up. And I'm going to maybe play one more video, then I'm going to jump onto the show de Leodo. And we're going to get some participation from the nation. And like good stuff. Where's the finger? There we go. Yeah, there we go. So what else? What anyone? That's a video circling of a young sister being bullied. I'm not going to play that. We've spoken to some of the Forever Family brothers, so they're going to jump on that. But really, nah, no good. What's this one? That might be good. I don't want to see that one. It's not decent. Oh, this is big up, brother Dominic. You sent me this. I'm gonna play two videos. This is actually I will play first. Let me play this one. Very important.
Star today, to me, is a 1984 Uncle Tom. Because while he's trying to get another contract for an additional $1 million, he's represented totally by white people. So he's not reaching back and bringing in any black lawyers or black accountants or black managers. He's just so happy to be considered an idol within the society. He doesn't understand that in 10 years, all that will happen is that will be broken, and he wouldn't have created anything that would be lasting for his kids or his grandchildren.
Big up Jim Brown there. He passed away not too long ago. One of the best American football players of all time. But yeah. So that's what I guess we were trying to talk about that last week. This is Jim Brown. He's a very, very talented American football player. I think he could have played many. He's one of those athletes where he could have played any sport, but he chose to play American football. And I think he's in the top 3 when it comes to ratings. Top 3 definitely, yeah. Very, very important. But he was activist, and this was what I'm saying. We were talking about all the rappers and sport guys. Like there was a time where it was like automatic that if you were a sport athlete of a certain type or you were a musician of a certain type, you had to be black focused or black community focused. But unfortunately, things have changed, and that's what we're trying to track down where the change happened. American football player. That's right. Yeah, very good one. But you check him out. I think he got a few famous adverts, and he's always done community work and stuff. And he's up there. So you got like Muhammad Ali's, and then you got he's probably up there. He's probably in the top 10 of that kind of like sport athletes who were active. He might be, he's definitely up there. But yeah, anyway, this is the last one now. The last one. But anyway, I think I was saying So we were trying to tell the brother last week that this is what we're saying. Like many of the brothers, they're forgotten. They forgotten. They never knew. And it seems like even the rappers never knew. So we're trying to, give him some of the inside scoop, but I don't know how much he got through. He did say his girlfriend, wife, was very pro-black, but she didn't want to jump on. We invite her this week or whenever she wants. So if ever she's listening, feel free to jump in. You're always welcome. Here's the last one. This is a very important one. Big up, brother Dominic, for this one.
To visit a European nation, an ordinary African, to visit a European nation is like, let me give you an example my teacher used to use. It's like trying to milk an elephant because of the visa process. However, for a European to visit an African nation, most of our nations, it is like a walk on the beach. It's like going to have a cup of tea. But then that is not the problem. The tragedy is that now for an African to visit a fellow African within the African Union, the visa restrictions in many of our nations, among us, between our brothers and sisters, is like trying to brush the teeth of a crocodile. They came, divided us, and they have taught us to keep each other from each other. Then they're mingling with each other and making money and growing, but they have taught us to...
Big up that brother there. Big up brother Dominic for the video. Yeah, and this is important. We speak to many brothers and sisters on the continent, and sometimes there'll be this illusion that no, things are great here, and there is many great things going on and potentially good things. But unfortunately, you have to acknowledge that there is that concept that it's easier for Europeans to get in there than it is for Africans to get out there, and how Europeans can network in there amongst themselves and stuff, while Africans seem to struggle to do that. and even in South Africa and stuff. So it's just a lot of stuff we have to really have to iron out internationally, locally, globally. But yeah, so anyway, let me jump on to the topic at hand. So get rid of that video, get rid of that video. There's no other videos that's worth playing. Right, cool. Let's go to dum. Where is it? Yeah. So what what should we jump on? So I'll be very what I recommend us using. Let me go to the white wealth ideology, also known as white wealthing. I think whenever we talk to brothers and sisters and we're saying that we recommend that we come together, we strongly promote black men marrying black women and blah blah blah. If they say love has no color, I would say, oh, that's a white wealthing ideology. A white wealthing. That's not black betterment. And the reason why we say white wealthing is we're highlighting that you are saying something that is financially beneficial to non-black people. Yeah, and I think the strategy I'll be using from now on is anytime I'm trying to promote strong family values, black men love black women, and someone says love is no color and this kind of stuff, and blah blah blah, marry you love and all this kind of stuff. I think the highlighting that action makes Europeans richer, and that's the focus. Like that's actually what it is. Like there is no concept where a black man doesn't pick a black woman, and that enriches the community. And I think that's quite important. And it's only because we are talking about black men percentage of being conquered, and as usual, and last week was no different, and the week before, we can never get around this obsession with either marrying the daughter of a European man or trying to collaborate in every stage of the way. And even when it's not necessary. So and this is what I'm trying to push forward as a case study, that this percentage of being conquered is very high. So we need words to reflect that. And I think, that they're actually using white wealthing ideology, an ideology made to make white people rich, really. That's what it comes down to. And that might actually trigger certain kind of talking points better now, right? So we talk about black betterment, but if you're not really talking about that and you start mentioning certain things, that's more white wealthing, and that's not what we're about. We're just going to highlight those two differences. Very important. But nevertheless, we are here to find out. So I made a list. So what we're going to do is we're going to post on Instagram, because I think on Instagram you can actually have 4 choices, if I believe that's correct, right? So we're going to ask the question: what percentage of black men are mentally conquered? This is more like a discussion piece, blah blah blah, branding, blah blah blah. But I was thinking, should we put something like 99%, 8%, 40%, 20% as an option? Is that too steep? What do you people think? Or should we go for something like 9%, 8%, 7%, or even a bit more steeper? 99, 95, 90, 85. What do you think, family? What do you think we should like really allow like a spectrum of a choice on the 4 options when we ask this on Instagram? Or do you think we should tie that more? What do you think? There we go. Brother, who was the last week ever gave his reason to not dating white women anymore? It was very interesting to hear that most men don't say that. Yeah, I should have unpacked that because he was really keen on me saying if I've ever tried to marry a white woman or something like this, and he said obviously after his experience, he will no longer be he will only ever be going for women within the community. And I don't know, maybe they practice racism. Maybe he realized. Maybe he went to a party, and the get out moment came. I don't know. Who knows? You like this one? So you don't think this one? So you don't, because this is like the one. This one is less. So you want to allow to add the 20%, 40%, or do you want to just keep it 90, 80, 70? What do you think? The one showing now. So you want to actually give more of an option to be a bit more merciful. Maybe. What I suspect you'll get is women and men will give 2 different results. Could be wrong though. So if this was, I suspect I know what the answer will be here, but if you guys were to pick from this list here of what percent of UK black men are mentally conquered, what number would you guys put? 99, 80, 40, or 20%? And that was on if you saw the Instagram feed on a well-designed banner and it looked intriguing, what number would you pick? Peace to man. Let go. It's very good talking last week. So family, yeah, we're asking the question. We're picking what kind of numbers to put on a 4-option, what do you call it, banner. To ask the question, what percentage of UK black men are mentally conquered? So I'll let you think about that. But meanwhile, video. I think there was actually some videos we never got to play last week because we went straight into the nitty gritty. I wonder if there's any decent one. Let me check out that.
Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and examine the root.
My issue is
Dating white men
that we did
is not
good face that Dr. Umar, and then won't be happy that.
So yeah, I mean, I don't. This it's almost like
okay.
You know what's funny, right?
And then why you probably alone? Good face.
Date?
Sorry, fam. I'm just looking at my videos. 3 reasons. The thing is, these videos are all around the same kind of theme. Literally, it's mad. But I guess because last week that's what it was about. Let's take a look at this one. What was this? What was this video that we missed last week?
That we did not have a prenuptial engagement going, and I.
Those who can't say, there's a European man. He's married to a black lady. He sues his black ex-wife because they didn't sign a prenup, and she had an ugly baby. I don't know. So I don't know. This is what they're putting on the video. I don't know. Is this something that goes on? I hope not, but this is what they're saying. Looks like this says, I would say 90% of the ones I've met on YouTube, but I'm hoping it's actually 80%. Hope it's the first step on the road to disappointment. Is Karen listening?
I want some measure of honesty from you, Tanya. Some
Your
measure
Honor,
of honesty that you understand.
Honesty don't cost $9,800. I want to know, why are you up in here when I could be having my morning tea? Why are you suing?
Because I said I had an ugly baby.
There you go. Wasting my time. Is a picture of the baby in the evidence?
Yes, it is. There he is right there.
So you're angry because this baby doesn't look the way you envisioned in your mind. This is insanity. You should be ashamed of yourself for even coming in here with this nonsense.
Your Honor, if I may, I felt I've made it very clear. I had a dream when I was young, and it was to not have a disingenuous, lying, deceitful wife, and that is what I found that I've had.
No, what we found is that you are delusional.
I don't know if it's a normal thing or this is even like a trolling thing, but European man saying that he wants to sue his wife because his child is ugly. I've never seen that before. I hope that's not a trend. Oh, something I should have played. Matter of fact, trend. Something I did see that was quite concerning. I can't see it. Did it not work? Hold on, let's see.
Black people make straight.
No.
All right.
Yeah, I forgot this. I saw this came on my. Once again, this was an advert.
What's up, this black girl? Hey, how are you?
So you obviously there's anti-black racist people, and you don't want to have stereotypes, but there is a look. Almost some of them even look like the kind of like villains in Silence of the Lamb, that kind of stuff. I'm not saying this gentleman looks that way, but he kind of does. But anyway, so this, I think, I don't know what he's doing, but I think I saw him because there was an advert, a sponsored advert, and it came on my page. And I think he was trolling black women or something like that for his kind of show or what, I don't know what it is.
Hey, not too good. Just found out about slavery. Can't believe something like that would happen. She said, oh no. Thank God for BLM. It's about time black queens had a voice. That's a very kind statement. Yo, we're in, fellas. Let's go. Where are you from? I'm from Wakanda. Oh, she unmatched me. I don't know what I did wrong.
Yeah, so that's another thing. There's a lot of anti-black racists, and they prop up black women or whatever just to troll. Be wary of that, especially. I mean, and then obviously you get the kind of like black women who are like more like this. Let me see if I can find them.
So you're saying, make straight like ass.
Where?
Do you find the blacks?
Where is it? So is it even this one? Oh, so it's last week. Let me check. I should show that one. Well, I'll show it last week, 2011. Yeah, so then you get like this kind of stuff. This kind of stuff. What is you get like I've seen this came to my feet as well. A lot of black women who marry European men, usually they're from Africa, the Caribbean, and they might be based in the States. And they'll put their children in, they'll be praying, they'll be dancing to African music or whatever. And then I think that they might be showing negative videos they get. And I don't know if this clickbait kind of thing and where they try to trigger anti-black racists to comment on them. I don't think it gets people paid or something, but it's quite consistent. So So yeah, I get a lot of that. As well. I even saw the man version of that straight after. Like I said, it's like, algorithms, you get so many. And I think which was this one?
All right.
So this is a Eastern European woman.
I think I'll take
I see this text is so small. It says, "I'm probably." Let me make this bigger, man. This is bad. Okay, I'm probably the first Eastern European woman who is not with a black man because of his money. So that's what she said. She's got like an African brother there who's carrying money, whatever it is. And then when you read the comments, it's like bombarded with hate. It's like non-stop, monkey this, whatever, go back, bloodline destroyed, blah, blah, that kind of stuff, right? But I think this must be like a strategy they do, because I think maybe like they get paid because it's sponsored. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be a lot. And I'm thinking the kind of abuse I see, I don't know why they would do this, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
my coffee black and my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me.
And it's kind of like it's performative and it's racial showcasing. But yeah, interesting stuff. That seems to be on my algorithm a lot, and it probably won't stop because once you click, keep clicking, right? But yeah, anyway, so let's go back. So are we saying that this is a good number? We asked what is percentage of the black men conquered? 99, 80, 40, 20%. Are we cool with that? If so, I'll design so I can show you next week, and then the week after we'll post it or whatever. But also we can have people jump into debate the topic. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it need refining? Is it too much? Is it not much enough? Let us know. No. Sister says yes. That's good enough for me. Good enough for me. I'm gonna sneeze. Forgive me on that. So family, what we got? Okay, 20 minutes. Let's see. I mean, the brother, I did have a open. For those of them, so go next week and check it out. So it's a 5-hour talk, and we're talking to a rapper brother, very very passionate, very skillful, entrepreneurial, I would like to say. But we were trying to explain to him certain concepts and stuff. And I don't know how. Let's randomly see what he says.
That's my question. This is
Let me not try to get a conflict kind of thing, because there's quite a bit. What's most valuable to them? You see? And my job as a rapper, as a musician, is to step up to people and not challenge them. So I guess what I was saying there was I was trying to say that if you're a rapper, you're a creative person, you can always try to do something creative with your art that's inspirational for black people and constructive, and also try to economically fund or support other black artists. Look out for them, that kind of thing. And I'll try and give examples of what I did in my history. On engineering, production, eternal rhymes, scores, bar reading. No, to say which one of you guys does anything beneficial to black people, and you'll see no hands go up. None. They might go to they'll fight for Palestine, they'll fight for these kind of things, but they won't fight for black people because we're collectively inadequate and we collectively have no friends, and we call this the double dilemma. We're despised and disorganized. And it doesn't matter how intelligent a rapper is. I say again, if there's no concept of helping their own people, then they're in the conquered category, because they've been successfully conquered by someone else to make them not value their own people. And my job is to bring that information. And I always have to talk truth to power. But remember, I can help any brother in the world. I can help you guys. I can help anyone.
I
always
feel, you know, I feel you, man. I feel you. Like, you know what? I get it. You know, you have to stand on your thing, bro, and I get that, man. You know,
That's another thing. When you talk to many of the brothers, especially the rappers, the road guys, that's the average everydayer. Being consistent is important. Wishy-washy doesn't work. You'll never get a different message from me since I've been on the scene. Black people helping black people, black issues, black family first, black economics, black health. It won't sway, right? And no matter how much people try to do a new kind of backdoor concept or try to shift and bounce and reform, ain't gonna happen. This is the basics. And I think this is what standing on the square is important. Yeah, very important. Let me know. So, is the link pinned at the top? Because I pinned it earlier, but I don't know if it worked. Right. So this was a talk we had last week with a brother called Cami Slime, a very good rapper. We actually matched, not matched. Sorry, we actually connected. What's the word? Well, basically there was a video about a sister called Cream. She's on a podcast with a brother from Dominica, and she left, and she was saying that she left because she was pregnant, and there was a European man, white guy, who said he was more Jamaican than her, and an argument happened, and she didn't feel necessarily protected, and then it affected her pregnancy, and then she then left the show, and I think I made a comment, he didn't make a comment, and then he might have used certain words. I said, brother, I think I said pro-blackness in the word, and then I think that might have triggered him to say something. Oh, that pro-blackness. We need to be pro-human. So it was some along those lines. I was like, oh, we should talk about this live. And he says, I'm more than happy to. And respect the brother. This is his first time talking live on any kind of panel. And he did express that he wanted to do it himself and maybe start his own show. And I said, I'm more than happy to jump on. So there you go. But let's carry on listening while people decide if they want to. It's been good. If you were to jump in to talk about last week or any kind of topics we discussed, what percentage of black men are conquered? Very important. And also white, I'm not talking about white wealthing ideology. As in, anytime someone says love has no color and these kind of stuff, white wealthing. We've got a rebuttal. Boom.
everyone has to stand on their thing, man. That's just the way it is, bro. You have to, like, that's just how it is. But you know, the question I raised was not answers, because I'm saying to you, like, bro, if
I answered the X-Men analogy.
No, it's not just the analogy. I'm saying, like forget the analogy, bro. Like, once it gets to a point where collectively, all of these other races, Asians, once they start to realize, hold on a second, common enemy, and then based on what.
So this is what something that I've noticed in a lot of the UK rappers, and kind of like the roadmen who become somewhat like aware of something. You know, if they don't go down the David Icke route, where it's like, you know, lizard men, the monarchy's an alien. What else? I mean, yeah, this kind of stuff, very entertaining. They'll go down like, you know, they're gonna hold us all down, and yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disprove all that, but then there's a strong emphasis like all come together as one, and then, you know, let's fight together. And I think that what seems to happen is sometimes I'm on a very basic, interesting, no, very basic, sorry, concept. Like, you know, there's a lot of problems going on in our community. Let's come together and fix it. And then they'll go to the most extreme. But what if we get to the last boss? We should unite with everyone to fight that last boss. Maybe so. But my whole thing was, if we're not united, then we're going to be giving away so much, and we're going to be disunited when we get there. So let's focus on the methods of getting united. And that's what this broadcast is about. You see? And the truth is, you guys both were the same thing, just coming from different perspectives. I think so. I definitely think so. But one thing I try to do is I try to highlight the consistency of black men being in the room talking about something that's meant for the community, but yet there is much anxiety and effort towards other groups. And for me, this is a inadequate way of communicating. I think it's not even necessary. I think it's like the hypothetical. You know, it's like, what if we get to the final stage and Galactus comes down and we have to? It's like, that's great, But look, why not black men form a bond to raise black boys? Because we understand that, you know, boys need to have masculinity in their life. They need to see other men to show them the way. And we can't have women doing these kind of things. You know, why don't we agree to something like that? Yeah, as in support like that, or ideologies that make us accountable for certain things. So that's my issue, because, like I said, I've been doing this for so long. I see it just quickly, like where a community thing then becomes a universal thing, and then it's their thing, and we're not in it. You see, and that's the pattern. It's a repetitive pattern, and I've seen it plenty of times, and we're trying to stop it from happening.
What you want, everyone just focusing on black betterment, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you not join them?
No. So, brother, I have respect. I have to tell you.
Starts and we're trying to
brother,
do we not join them?
I have respect. I have to tell you that this makes sense to us and you, but when you go into Asian communities, white communities, Jewish communities, black men are never mentioned unless it makes you don't hang with them, right? No other group. And that's important what brother said. So I said, when you go into other communities, about when they're having their community talks, black men are not mentioned unless it's don't hang with them, right? And this is like, see, this is the thing is, I love all these brothers, right? I have love for them. And I'm not talking about this, but I'm talking about the pattern. When I say marry a black woman, start black economics, form black coalitions, the black man, the road man, the rapper man, there is an aggression, a frustration, an anger, and it comes from how, you know, we need to stay with, you know, everyone. They're kind of like the kumbaya coalition flex, right? But then when I say, yeah, you know what, yeah, but you do understand that a lot of these groups don't like us, and they will never mention us in their meetings and stuff. And then all those roadmen, those rapper men, those street men, those black men, universal kumbaya black men, they'll say, yeah, I know. They're not angry. They're not. Oh man, you're right, man. They say, yeah, you know, and that's very interesting to see that there is like aggression and anxiety towards black men promoting black love, promoting black economics, group think, you know, group coming together to try to think on things that works for the black community specifically. But the anxiety comes from not including people that you are admitting don't like you in any capacity when it comes to collective wise. And that's interesting, guys. And that's my thing is to challenge all the black rappers and the black guys to really rethink that and go, this is why we are branding Black Men Conquered and collectively inadequate, because it doesn't make no sense. When Europeans are always putting the collective needs of Europeans first. So in America, where they try to do the what do you call that, the racial critical race theory, right? Where you teach about racism, you teach about history and how everyone contributes to racism. Europeans have stopped that. They said, no, we can't teach that. That's going to make our children feel bad, or make them feel bad about our history, about what's going on, or what we don't want to change. So they stop it. So they make sure that this idea that doesn't benefit them, it stops. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant. Yeah, and this is what we're saying. Like, this is a very interesting thing. But once again, we've been conquered thoroughly.
I know this.
No, but what I'm saying is we are inadequate because we keep bringing people who have nothing to do with us and have their own thing going on. Yeah, and they've done that and they benefit from our labor. Historically, Asians will move into black communities and economically value, but they don't respect where they're at. This happens with Jewish people, this happens with Asian people, you name it, right? Nobody collectively likes black people. But because we've mastered the art of subservience, we've mastered the art of serving other communities, more so black men and rappers, right? Because we've mastered that art, we will always bring them up because we're collectively inadequate.
All right. So do you think Arabs are not collectively inadequate?
I think every single people group you can describe are collectively superior to black people when it comes to Now, I think he had family members or maybe some new people jumped on, and these words, and obviously members of the community, they are very triggered by these words: collectively inadequate, collectively inferior, collectively in an inferior position, collectively superior. And I think these are exceptionally good words to use. I think what you want to do is you want to break down any illusion that black people are on par to par on a mass scale, yeah, with any group. Now, this doesn't say that individually we don't have amazing people, and we most certainly do. But the idea is to make those amazing people connect. And right now, those amazing people are not connecting. So we have to use these very strong terms. And I'll be using them all the way. And I've been using them, and they get the best results. You see? Practicing
In the
ideas.
UK, you said. In the UK.
In every single country that has been tracked, collectively, every group are superior to black men when it comes to working for their own best interests. Black men are collectively inferior at promoting ideas that benefit the black community. See, very straight to the point, very boom, 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 right? And also highlighting black men, because obviously men lead. If you didn't know, now you know. Or you meant to, right? And this is how I reckon we talk. This doesn't mean that individually black people are this, that, and the third. It just means that working as a group to do things for the group, we are last in the league. This is a truth. There is no, and I'm trying to use these conversations with black men, rappers, and road guys as a demonstration, right? Yeah, as a demonstration of that, as in the quickness, the anxiety to be angered by loving black women or having a black banker or whatever it might be, but wanting to bring in Arabs. When someone said, we just saw another video in America where that lady was talking to the black man who's eating the rice and peas where he was eating, and how he says he doesn't like Europeans and doesn't love Arabs because he's aware of the history. All right. Now, I'm not saying to speak that kind of way, but he's aware of history, so he's saying that. But these gentlemen in the UK, we're aware of the Arab slave trade. We're aware of the European slave trade. We're aware of no reparation being paid. We're aware of the brutality. We're aware of all this. But yet, there is still that dedication to subservience. The
All right,
only
so
idea
I'll say this though quickly. You see, when you go, see when I was in Saudi Arabia, yeah.
Yes, bro.
When I was in Saudi Arabia, I was walking through trenches, yeah. Some of the times, a lot of the times, I was in nice areas as well. I was in.
And what the brother will probably say, I think, is where he says, I went to a place where I saw poor Arabs. So not all, that doesn't mean that Arabs are doing better than us. And this is where the individualistic kind of mindset or not understand how collectivism works. You know, you're going to see poor Arabs, poor Europeans, poor blacks, rich Chinese, rich Asians. You're going to see all of it. But as a whole, as a collective, you know, you have a much harder history and a much harder presence from a collective standpoint because of what they describe as anti-black racism. Now, I don't like leading on anti-black racism. I like leading on black betterment. But it's almost like you have to try to educate the reasons why you would want to better your community.
Medina, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in like when we left the place, the parts where the tourists are, we went through the trenches and whatnot. There's a bunch of people on the floor with one leg. There's this guy that they're not inferior to us. Now the people who are inferior to us are the people who are oppressing their own people.
I think he got the words mixed up there. I don't know what you're saying. Remember, I'm saying
like I said, well, I say this. Let me land with what I'm saying. I say that.
I'm confused.
Say again.
I'm confused.
Okay, so what I say is, there's people within when I was in Mecca and Medina, and I left the main parts. We saw people begging, people that low, and the people who are high up, like the royals in them countries, they are not. They are suppressing their own.
Yes, and this is something that a lot of rappers do and stuff, and it's right. They took and a lot of white rappers do this, especially in the UK. Like, the thing is, there's points in being oppressed, and there's points in not being a part of the oppressed. It seems, right? So what white rappers will try to do is, rather than relinquish white privilege or this kind of stuff, they would say there's a dynamics where the rich man is crushing the poor man, So the rich black man and so the poor black man and the poor white man have to come together. And that's like a famous, saying, whatever it is that most rappers do, whatever. That's how they like to build. And I think this brother is that he's probably in that kind of mindset, And this comes down to also with the, when you're talking about the LGBT stuff, where, well, white people might be seen as the dominating society, right? But if you're a white person and you're a male, then you might have a history of being seen as, part of the process of anti-black racism or just white supremacy, blah, blah, blah. But if you then identify as a woman, then you're now a minority class that's been oppressed. So there's this kind of like motivation to be non-white male facing, right? A non-white person facing, try to make yourself a minority in some way, like, oh, I'm a woman, I'm a oppressed woman, whatever it might be. And I think that seems to bleed into rappers as well, where they're mentioning these kind of things that, the rich and then the poor, so actually it's all the poor against all the rich, and that's what seems to happen.
So like I'll go back to what I was saying.
Yeah, but that's normal, isn't it? You're gonna have rich black men oppressed.
Let me land with what I'm saying.
Arabs still know how to work.
No, but let me land with what I'm saying, bro. They are suppressing their own to the point where, yes, the Arabs that you're mentioning that don't have to work here, they only don't have to do that because they have positioned themselves where they do deals with people like with other countries where they can make sure that their families are well off, and then they don't mind everyone else being suppressed. It's the same when you go to Africa. You've got families that are well off. Yeah.
I don't think this way of thinking is beneficial to you, brother. I don't think this way of thinking is beneficial. I think in every community group, you're going to find dynamics of rich and poor. However, as a collective, Arabs will get on code when it comes to doing things that benefit the Arab community, whether they're rich or poor. Also, how Arabs collectively treat black people, Africans, isn't in best interest, isn't of a high, is very poorly. Yeah. How many Arabs view black people is very poorly, right?
Well,
I remember I was saying in Speaker's Corner, there was this not famous, but Arab debater. I remember we were there. I always remember it. I think Jedi was talking to him, a brother called Jedi, and he said, "Oh well, I understand this and that, but at least we know that Adam and Eve were black people." And he said, "Listen to me. We have no idea what color Adam and Eve were, but we know they weren't black." And this was like a very normal thing to say. No one was shocked by it. This was normal, and it was accepted as a quote. Now, we don't know what color they were, but we know they weren't black. So this is a very Speaker's Corner. Sorry, goes.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm a Caribbean. I don't know how Caribbean you are, yeah, but I'm very Caribbean, yeah, and a lot of my Caribbean people don't treat Arabs and Somalians very well. I've heard them. I've like the way that my people I've heard them speak very badly to treat Somalians very badly. I used to walk around with my own mom.
You're right, brother. Black people are conquered, but my focus is to talk to black men, so I would focus on black men being conquered. And also, if you had to ask who is to lead the people, should be women or men, we say that men have to lead, women have a choice.
Mother, and she used to talk about, she'd be like, "Move, dirty Somalians." I used to hear it from my own mother, and I've had to pull my own mother up, bro.
Okay, well, let me jump in before you move on. Two things, yeah. One thing we've really explained historically is self-hatred. We don't register Somalis as Arabs. They might be Afro-Arabs or maybe terms, but they're Somali brothers. They're sub-Saharan Africans, and they're part of the African family.
Yeah, I know this.
The same hatred that Somalis might get from Jamaicans is the same hatred that Nigerians might
I
get
also
from
said that. I also said that my mom,
African Americans might get from Jamaica. So what I was trying to explain to the brother is he's trying to say there's Arab hatred, but actually, especially from the Caribbean standpoint, when you go to Jamaica and these places, you have to divide it into two. You've got the Queen's English people, and then you've got the Rastafarians and the Pan-Africanists, right? The Queen's English people will love the Queen but hate Africa. So if they come to England and they see Africans or other black people, especially dark or whatever it is, there's tendency to have a hatred towards them by not having knowledge of self, self-hatred, right? But if that person was a Rastafarian or a Pan-African or a Garveyite, they're going to love the Somali brothers, love the Ethiopian brothers. How do we know this? Because in the ideology of Pan-Africanism, in the ideology of Rastafarianism, is Ethiopia, is Punt, is East Africa, right? And that's why we're saying that knowledge of self is important. And that's why we try to make sure that we learn your culture, learn your people, and practicing black betterment is key.
Well, I've heard Indians.
Let me
There's Indians, whites, all of it.
I'm going to explain. What I'm saying is, black people have been trained to be self-hating of Africa by looking at East Africa as poor and needing charity through the Live Aid and this kind of stuff, right? So we have been worked on to not be loving of our people, but you will never find a Rastafarian or a Pan-Africanist in Jamaica who doesn't say anything but Somali people are amazing and beautiful. You won't. They can't utter such things, right? Because they are raised in the ideology that makes them value blackness, right? And that's what black betterment is. It's an ideology that makes us raise and love blackness. So when we see a Somali brothers or South African brothers or African American brothers, we see brothers and sisters, and we work with them on betterment. And that's why we need, because without the ideology, the ideology that is reign, which is white supremacy or anti-blackness, will train black people to hate black people.
Don't anyone have any questions to ask us? Like, is there anyone else that has anything to ask us? I don't know who's in this room or whatever.
So family. The truth is, as tends to happen, we've gone very far. But I'm going to send the link in there. If you jump in, we've got maybe 10 minutes question and answer. Is that the link? Yeah. Jump in. We can add, but you have to be respectful, please. So those are listening. This is a discussion I had last week, so you can check the full thing. We're not listening to a bit of it now. I mean, it went for 5 hours. It was very interesting. Lots of highs and lows, lefts and rights. But big up the brother there, and we're looking to do more of them. I need to take more time to invite guests on. But the reason we're showing it is because actually we are asking the question: what percentage of black men are mentally conquered? And what we've decided between literally two people really was we're going to put the percentage as 99, 80, 40, and 20%. Now, family, it is past 11. Now, how the show normally runs is I waffle for a good hour, and then after that, I send out the link, and then people can jump to talk about a topic or to maybe talk about a past topic or maybe there's something we want to discuss, and then we go for an hour or so, and then we end, and we go to bed and get ready for tomorrow. I'm past the hour now. So what I'm going to do is, while I wait to see if anyone wants to jump in, I'm going to see if there's any videos that might be of some interest that we didn't get to play. Let me check. Hold on.
So you're saying
Nope.
Black people know people. All right. Do you know?
So this is so I saw this right. This is another.
A lot of.
I'm not trying to always play black coupling stuff, but this came up. This is South Africa now. This gentleman, I don't know what logic he's dealing with, and it would be good if our African brothers would let us know. But he said this, and I just listened to the video. So.
Black females don't support.
Rewind.
Do you know why a lot of black females don't support their black husbands in businesses? Let me tell you this today, because many of them, they are in competition with their husbands. They don't see the business within the family as a united formation to empower the family financially. And I know all of you as women seated in here are probably saying, you know what, Rick, but we do support our husbands. They're not transparent. They're not this is no. If you look at Muslim women, Indian women, and you look at white women, majority of them that you come across are either a clerk in their husband's business or they are either in the finance side of their husband's business. But you can't, because the reason for that, you are in competition with him. You are literally at loggerheads with him. You are literally putting him as an equal to you when it comes to competition. If you can't submit to the vision of that man, you were never meant to marry that particular man. And that is why you are a thorn to him as opposed to being a blessing.
Right, so now, if you're in South Africa, you have to remember, is there something going on there we don't know? The gentleman is saying that he is seeing that black men and women are competing, more so black women are competing with black men in business. And then South Africa is quite mixed in the sense of they have the Asian community, the white community, different types of Asian communities and stuff. And he's saying that black women are competing with their husbands, so they're not working good as a team. Now, I don't know if that's true. I would like to say that here, if we had more black businesses, I suspect that sisters would jump on and help run it. But I don't know. This is what he's saying. So I thought that was interesting. Once again, I try to listen to other communities when I'm not there, But you know, I did see some interesting things going on in South Africa where they kicked out the Nigerian sister. She went on to Nigeria and then win it for Nigeria, and then it's probably going to meet the European winner of the night of the South African Model Award, and they're probably going to meet in the final. So that's just an interesting story there. So South Africa, good to see what's going on, because obviously since apartheid, I don't know if it's really gone down the way of black people yet. What else? Let me see if we got anything else. Hold on.
The black.
No,
Do you know?
no,
All right.
no.
Black people will not feel.
So okay, so that I've done that for one more folder, and if this folder's done, then I'm done. Let's see what we've got. Hold on.
Okay, guys.
So saw this one, another sister talking. Saw this last week.
Y'all let's go ahead and examine the real reason that black men do not like BBLs.
So we covered, unfortunately, some of the tragic tragedies that happen when sisters go to Turkey and these kind of places to get cheap modifications stuff. And unfortunately, there was a sister who passed away, and I think they stole her organs, and this was very terrible. It was very shocking. But this sister here, she's from America. I can't remember what she said, but she's saying 3 reasons why black men don't like BBLs. Well, for me personally, it's not about me telling what women should and shouldn't do. But what I would say as a culture, it would be good if we had a diverse look and feel of women. So there's no pressure for them for you guys to go and pay any kind of mortgage money to have augmentations. That money probably best spent on your house, you know, your business, rather than paying for parts or whatever they do. I don't know. I'm not there. But I think she's going to give her perspective. Let's see.
Now, if you're a girl that went too far and you walking around looking like a horse in a circus act, we're not talking about you. We're talking about the regular girls that got a regular, tasteful BBL. To the point where you can't even tell she had one. She just has a nice body. Looks like she works out and takes care of herself, right? And I've heard they don't feel any different because it's just her real fat put into another part of her body. So what problem would y'all really have with it? You like women with nice bodies, don't you? Everybody ain't got no naturally perfect body. I'm sorry. Nobody has a naturally perfect body. So get over that. My 3 reasons that black men can't stand BBLs. For 1, it makes us more confident. Can't have that. For 2, it makes...
So the sister, I don't know where she's getting information from. I don't know if she's actually getting research from men, but let's kind of listen.
Makes us more attractive to other men and maybe even men of a higher caliber. 3rd of all, I think y'all jealous. Y'all know y'all can get lipo too, right? And if you want that...
So I think what she's saying is by her getting some these kind of like augmentations, it makes them... Is it more confident? Oh.
Can't have that. For 2, it makes us more... He has a naturally perfect body, so get over that. My 3 reasons that black men can't stand BBLs. For 1, it makes us more confident.
Well, no. So what one thing I would say, we want to have... One of the problems we have in the black community is lack of confidence. And what you might argue is that if you're going to get operations done, that means you haven't conquered that confidence yet. And, you know, if you ask a man... if you ask a man what type of woman they like, it's like asking a man what type of fruit they like, right? They're going to say oranges, apples, pears, coconuts. They like all types. You know this to be true. There isn't one type, right? So for you to augment yourself and spend a lot of money and potentially harm yourself, you just want to review that, but it's definitely not... Men want to see you confident. We would definitely like to see you happy in yourself, happy with what you have. But that's just me speaking.
Yeah, can't have that. For 2, it makes us more attractive to other men and maybe even men of a higher caliber.
The thing is, once again, rappers and this kind of stuff on Instagram, they might be into that kind of like augmented stuff, and that's fine for them. But generally, most men, especially businessmen, they do want a low profile, and so yeah, it isn't like... Advertising yourself isn't something that is best appealing for them.
3rd of all, I think y'all jealous. Y'all know y'all can get lipo too, right? And if you want that fat tape...
So yeah, this is maybe this is a comedian, and this is why it's important for women and men to have conversations. It's very important because men want a woman who has a form of beauty. And that beauty, no man can match a woman's beauty. It can't happen. You can't match a woman's beauty. It's like a yin and a yang, or a 2 head, tails and a head, whatever. So your man would probably want you to be 4,000 times better looking than him. So I don't think jealousy will come in. But I don't know. Maybe the system at something else. I don't know if she's. I've seen her come up a few times on my stream. I don't know. For all I know, she practiced something very different. But I think she needs to review. I could be wrong. Though. Maybe the people in the house think she's correct. I can tell you as a man, and I suspect the other man might agree. I think she didn't land any of those points there. But I'm sure if she was to articulate herself, she might make more sense. Who knows? Maybe I'm trying rubbish. Let me see now. Let me see what else we got.
Okay,
As you know, Puff Daddy's been arrested. But this is what he was saying before he was arrested.
And it's called Our Black Party.
Okay.
It's time for us to have our own black political party, unapologetically. Because right now, if you look at the debates, we're not even a part of the conversation.
Not at all.
We're not a part of the conversation. We don't have any political power. We don't have any political leverage. And so we started Our Black Party with some young, fearless black activists, elected officials, and I've stepped up and put the money behind it. This is the biggest threat and the only option that we have right now as far as making a change, taking our own self-responsibility and accountability to be educated and empowered with our vote.
So what's the goal for our Black Party?
Our Black Party's number one goal is to unify behind a black agenda. That's it. You could be a part of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, you could be an independent, but if you black, you wasn't born Republican, you wasn't born Democrat, you wasn't born independent, you was born black. And we have to seize our political power because it'll just be more of the same, being pushed this way, being pushed that way, and we expecting a different result. But the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over the same way, expecting a different result, and it's not going to happen. So we have to change the tone. We got to start with us stepping up and really taking the responsibility and accountability to be a part of this political movement.
The hardest part of that is going to be getting other black people to buy into it.
This is not for all black people. You know what I'm saying? This is not for the scary ones. This is for the ones that want to move things forward and want to get to the smoke. A black person spends an average of like 5 hours on Instagram a day. If you could give Instagram that time, 15 minutes you could give to educating yourself. And Our Black Party's that platform. So when we get down to the local elections, when we get down to the school board, we get down to the judges and the justices, that's so confusing for us. We've never played this game. This is another level of gangster. But I played this game before, you know? I started in 2004 with Vote or Die, and this is the evolution of that thought, of that empowerment, of that independence, of us taking self-accountability so we're not caught with our pants down like this election. Right now, we're not going to get nothing. We caught with our pants down. We're not organized. We're not ready to really take this on. I went through the experience of politics. I played the game with the Democratic Party. The people that I went and campaigned for, after they got elected, I don't feel like they really did anything to change the reality of black people. Like I was blessed enough to find God come to me and tell me my purpose. And he told me my purpose is to play a part in saving the black race. The Vote or Die Diddy was about politics and, you know, trying to be supportive. And also, you know, they kind of guilt us in the votings, you know. But as I evolved, I realized this is a business. This is a transaction. This is the closest thing to the streets than the streets that I've seen. I'm launching conversation.
Not at all.
So that was Diddy. Don't know how long ago that was. That was him talking about, coming together under a black agenda. I agree very much. Now, obviously, I don't know what's going on with him or what it might be. Any abuse he does, any kind of like hitting of women, we don't support. He has to reform. He has to apologize and he has to fix everything he's done. They're probably going to get him to go to jail for 30 years or something. I don't know the crime yet. I think it was transporting women across the border for sex. So I think they're saying he had these kind of like parties where people would go and they would all, do whatever they're doing. I like to think it was consensual. Now maybe he paid men and women to be there and do intimate stuff. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be good to understand what the crime is, because all I heard was it baby oil, and I saw a conference where I was talking about baby oil. Don't know what the crime about baby oil is. I don't know. People say that maybe he was video recording people and he's got people on tapes at his parties. I have no idea, but regardless of what is or isn't happening, that is a good idea, and he should have focused more on that. But as time goes by, we'll try to let you know what's happening with him. But there is quite a few black men in the music industry who have been taken down. Tried to take him down. I think the only one who beat it was Michael Jackson, I think. And they even tried to get him back when he was dead. But don't get me wrong, any crime that's committed, any harm that's to children and women done by any person, we're free from them, and they have to repent and fix what they've done and pay for their crimes. If this is true, that is. All right, so I've got some work to do. Funny enough, right? I'm going to jump off. But listen, fam, is there any question? Is that all? Let me see this. That might be. Let me see if that's. Oh, did I stop it? Oh, it's still here, right? Yeah, good. Let me find it. Let me see if that's all the videos, and then we're gonna end. Hold on. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. No.
Dating one good face. And then okay, quickly before
Maybe that one. Hold on.
and then why you pop his balloon?
So this, we saw this from. We saw this from. This is a woman.
Why did you pop his balloon? Obviously one of the two.
I don't want to.
So this is a show where they pop balloons if they want to be with a man or not. It's like a game show. It looks like they're all trying it. Might be a very popular format on the internet.
Be colorist here, but I'm sorry. I have a very light skinned family, and I just need to keep the melanin going in there. So it's more than just superficial. I need that bloodline to keep going.
What?
Yeah.
Make some beautiful children.
We sure would. We sure would. You're very handsome.
Oh
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I think this is when we get together, we say certain things where it's like, I think there's a better way you can put certain things. I don't know where that comes from. And I think coming from a man to a woman, you probably get away with more. You could get away with that reverse. But either way, we should review that as in how we communicate with each other and how we place values. I'm all for black people getting with black people. I'm definitely not for diversity. Not diversity. What's the word? Colorism or reverse colorism. I mean, you can't, or whatever it might be. Who knows, right? Or shadism, I should say. But there, you definitely want, when you're in a public space, you want to watch how you word things. I think I was talking this to a brother the other day where he was using certain terms as a derogative term to describe someone he doesn't like, and he was using like certain colorations and certain kind of words that in the black community. And I said, well, the thing is, if you use those words, there are people who could qualify under those words, and you kind of like marginalizing them, but they might actually be on your case. So be very wary of how you use words. So I thought that was interesting, a very interesting thing there. Let me see one more. Let's see, there's one more video I saw. What's it present? Video. What's the last one? Let me check that one.
Dating white men. My issue is
All right, wait.
dating good face. Dr. Uma won't be happy.
I saw this. Was forgive me. Most of the stuff is damn because the topic that we had was that. Plus the algorithm gives me the same thing. So this UK guy, I guess this could be from what percentage of UK black men are mentally conquered. This guy might be a show host, maybe, or maybe he's a rapper, or maybe he's just a guy who's a comedian of sorts. I obviously don't know. I don't really follow people because I'm old school. I'm just old.
Uma won't be happy that I said that, but you got a good face.
you.
Dr. Uma's against. Do you know he's against?
What?
Dr. Uma's against snow bunnies.
The snow bunny crisis.
Okay.
I am against the snow bunny crisis.
But that guy, he's
Why?
I don't know, man. That guy's an angry man.
That's important that you got guys who say someone's against snow bunnies, kind of stuff, right? Those no snow bunnies. I guess what they say when a black man picks a white woman, or the white woman will be the snow bunny allegedly. But knowing why someone says something's important, but also not trying. And I suspect with me, this is what they'll do as well. They'll present an argument that they think I have, and then try to shoot it down in a comical kind of way, but not really fully understanding it. This is a very inadequate way of behaving. But that's fine, listening.
I don't know what. I think a snow bunny done something to him, man. She's in a maze. Do you live by yourself by any chance?
Why do you need to know that? Why is he asking me that? That's a bit weird. It's a bit of a scary
Because I don't want to sleep over and your mum's knocking on the door and telling me wake
Who
up.
says you're sleeping over?
Who said I'm not?
Me.
Oh, that's why. I'm not your type, innit?
I never said that.
Oh, so I am your type.
It depends.
On?
Like, looks can be one thing, but
Is he your type?
yeah, he's my type.
This girl loves BBC. Oh, don't tell me.
So yeah, this like a lot of the brothers in the UK, they're unaware that they have the kind of like subservient kind of betrayal, the lusting betrayal, it's and the thing, if you will read the comments, they're bombarded with hate by European men. All for it's quite consistent. I think one strategy is to, whenever you see brothers do this, in the meeting or in the discussion, go, now can we spend the other 50% picking up the sisters?
You're one of them ones. It's not all about looks, yeah.
No, it's the vibe, the energy.
Because I feel like I'm vibing with you.
Do you think?
Yeah. Well, you don't.
To be honest with you, I'm going to keep quiet because age and awareness is important. If you get most of us brothers, if you get us at any age, when we were younger, especially when we haven't gone through any kind of consciousness, our mindset would be definitely more of a European-led concept. So that's why it's important. Sometimes we got to be very, very kind to some of the brothers because they're not really educated in ideas that are beneficial, unfortunately. But you know, that's me being kind.
Like we're getting a vibe.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Look at the way you're looking at me. I feel like you're looking at me like you're trying to vacuum clean me, Henry.
So what's the problem with this is that you start the discussion with mocking a brother who's trying to look out for brothers, and you don't really understand his argument, and then you spend the rest of it really trying to goggle or whatever the word is, the European lady. But, you know, whatever. I'm just let's see if there's one more video. I feel there might be one more, but maybe that's it. Let's check over.
My issue is
Okay,
my
dating
good face that
white men is not going to solve your problem. And this is coming from someone who...
So yeah, this is the last one. This is once again another dating thing.
And
I messaged this. I think this woman tried to message me, but it ended up being her trying to spam me some kind of product or something. She said I messaged her. No, I commented on this comment, and then let me play this straight.
dating white men is not going to solve your problem. And this is coming from someone who exclusively dated white boys. It's the same shit, different flavor. You hate black men because the first black man in your life let you down. I get it. I'm the president of Club Daddy Issues. But baby, changing the race that you date ain't gonna change your self-hatred. I mean, let's keep it a buck. If you hate black men as a black woman, you really hate yourself. I've been screwed over by white boys, I've been screwed over by black boys. An asshole is an asshole regardless of what color it is. You looking for a great white man like there aren't great black men in abundance out here. And if you don't believe that, then you just aren't the woman that you need to be to attract them. Just keeping it real. Maybe you should try working through your trauma because trust me, ain't nothing better than being married to a good ass black man. So don't blame black men, blame your trauma.
In fact, no, the sister is speaking. To be honest with you, I'm sadly, I think I'm getting her mixed up with this other sister. Sorry, let me check because I'm getting mixed up with this sister. Sorry, they don't look the same. It's just it's late at night.
Quickly before I go out,
We saw this one. I think this woman might be someone who's historically been very into not being with black men, and I think her video started some of the kind of streaming of the black man versus black woman concept or something like that.
Girlies want to know if black British women are not dating black British men. Who are they dating? The answer is we're dating white guys.
And she might be a comedian, I'm assuming.
Both my ex-boyfriends in the UK were white. I'll tell you the type of white, like liberal white men. Like if you watch Love is Blind UK, Benaya, I was dating Benayas, and dating Benayas was great. They treat you very well compared to my other option, which was not dating at all because the black men in my circles weren't checking for me. They were very much exclusively only dating white women, and they let me know.
So this is part of the conquering process. Like obviously, there's people have different experiences, but this is you could you talk about a woman who, and what's very interesting is the men and the women in this kind of topic. They are dating the people groups of those who most benefit from the structure historically and currently. So you won't see like dark skinned men dating dark skinned Bangladeshi women, and black women dating dark skinned Bangladeshi men, or Chinese men or whatever. It's literally the descendants of the enslaver. And that's a very interesting dynamic to really break down.
And to the black men that I did date, some of them had internalized racism. So there was things about my blackness they didn't like. So, for example, I'm not seen as attractive in the UK. Yeah, I'm not.
So one thing, when we talk about the number of UK black men who are conquered, there are many black men, many, who find the system very attractive. However, if we're not speaking up, if we're not, what I was saying last week, creating campaigns, making songs, kind of like Rastafarians do with the reggae music and stuff, right? It's very clear that who they like and that. Then what will happen is this will then prevail, this kind of thought mindset.
I mean, I'm all right, but I led with my personality more because I just didn't think I had the looks. And it was black men telling me that I didn't have the looks. Like, some of the worst names I've ever been called ever in my life have been from black British men. So I remember I dated.
And this is the same kind of concept we see with the brother who's saying, my parents were horrible to Somalis and to East Africans and to Nigerians, whatever it was. And what I understand is recognizing self-hate and inside squabbles and where that comes from, where that's learned from. And the only real solution to it is black betterment. An ideology that teaches you to love your community and to recognize where the pain came from and why it's important to come together to have solutions.
A black guy, and he wouldn't like it if I took off my wigs at night to sleep. He wanted me to sleep with my wig on because he didn't like my 4C hair. And I would date like white guys, like liberal white guys that, at times when I'm too tired, would take my wig off for me and put it on a wig stand and brush it out. So, I think that black British women have decided to just go where we're wanted and where we're adored. And
so that's the ideology that you'll see black women say, go where you're loved, or something like that. So and I would say that it's a decent ideology in the sense of it doesn't degrade the black men in their group. So one of the challenges, the dynamics is you tend to find that black men will be with a European woman, but still degrade black women in their ideology, while black women will be with a European man, but not necessarily degrade black men in their ideology, unless they're part of what they call the swirling or the pink pill community, this kind of stuff, where those communities that generally have disdain for black men and want black men to never exist and never be anywhere, that kind of stuff.
If that's white men, it's white men. And love is love, and be happy.
Remember I said love is love? That kind of, we want to say that's white wealthy ideology. Love has no color, love is love. All that stuff works in the economic pockets of Europeans, not in the economic pockets of black people. So we want to review that concept. I think having different words like, well, we're conquered, so we agree to be conquered. This might be a better word to use because that way it highlights the challenge, the problem.
But yeah, I noticed.
I remember Frances Cress Welskin. She was talking to, I think, one of the podcasts, and then I think it was her. It was her. Before she died, she said, a way of communicating might be cool is in the 70s, people would always say that, what's up, right? And she said that what might have been helpful is when someone says, what's up, the response is white supremacy. And that way, you always remember there's something to do. And I think that's how language works. Like if you can embed what you're trying to do in how you communicate, yeah, it'll make sticking on solutions very important. That's why words matter. And that's why we try to come up with words that can be very helpful.
And we kind of all notice that, like, a lot of black men in the UK have a preference, and it's not us.
So that's why we need to campaign. That's why black men have to campaign to make black women black women are black men's preference without doubt. But unfortunately, it isn't campaign, it isn't known, and the ratio when it comes to other men dating out is higher in black men. And that's because black men are collectively conquered, you see. They're conquered. Our men, we are conquered. And that's the best way to put it. If you put it any other way, you allow a black man to exit the gate. Now, if someone says, "Oh, but the majority of black men love black women," go, "Okay, now you need to campaign that, because if the sisters don't know that, don't feel that, it's useless." You see, so that's important.
But since moving to America, I've only ever dated black men. And I want to thank, again, America, sorry to be up your ass, but I didn't think I was cute until I moved here. Like, oh my God, I get approached by black men here and I get to date black men here for the first time in my adult life. I'm dating black men. So, it's nice to be adored by your own kind. And that's never really happened for me in the UK. And a lot of dark-skinned women feel that way because, like I said, the type of a lot of black men in the UK is white women or racially ambiguous, and I am neither. So yeah, we're dating white guys. Love is love. Date who you want. All right, I'm going out.
Bring up the sister there. So obviously she's going through a trauma. I'm glad that she went to America and saw some kind of solace. There is a dynamic in America. I think her being a black woman from another country with a different kind of vibe, that might work in her favor. And also, there's a high percentage of black men there, and also they're actually more. They're actually more an understanding of why black people should love black people. Although they still have their problems when it comes to being rich and dating out and stuff. But interesting. So anyway, family, this has been the Black Baron broadcast. I have waffled for 1.5 hours, I believe so. So if no one's going to jump in, I'm going to end it. I've got to do so. I'm going to try to fix a PC at the moment, so I should do it before I go to bed. But you guys have been fantastic. For those who spend their time trying to help the community, those who tune in to do good works, know that you are important. And for those who don't, know that you are loved. It's very important. We let people know their worth and let them know what we're doing. Well, I'm going to go. So until next week, everyone, Black Betterment, until Black Betterment, I'm going to do a design of this thing. So it'll be 99%, 8%, 40%, 20% of what percentage of black men, where is it there? Of black men are conquered. And hopefully you'll see the designs and then we can iterate it or whatever it is and make it better and then push it out. Maybe do a video version. Who knows if I get time. I have very little time nowadays, guys. But anyway, until next week, Black Betterment to all and to all Black Betterment. Peace and street.